Tonight, I have a story to tell you. It begins in 2021 and ends in 2022. And it involves a star prime minister, an army general, and the CIA. Now, you'd ask me who among all of them is the protagonist of this story. Well, you decide once you've heard the story yourself, which has been published by independent American website Drop Site. Let's go back to June 2021. When American CIA Director William J. Burns traveled to Pakistan to meet with the then Prime Minister Imran Khan, the same Imran who is languishing in jail today. Burns wanted to secure Pakistani territory for US drone bases, which would later be used against targets in Afghanistan, since the American withdrawal had been finalized that time. The CIA Director waited and waited some more. He waited an entire day to meet Imran Khan in Islamabad. But the meeting never happened. Imran's office telephoned Burns to tell him that as per protocol, the Prime Minister would only take calls from his counterparts. And who was his American counterpart at the time? President Joe Biden, who as per the report had declined repeated requests from Imran for a direct call. It was unusual for the popular Imran Khan to take rejection, especially when in 2019 Donald Trump himself had invited him to the White House for a meeting. So Imran was upset and Burns didn't get his wish. Later that month, in an interview with Axis, Imran Khan vehemently denied any land being given to America. He said, and I quote, "Absolutely not. There is no way we're going to allow any bases, any sort of action from Pakistani territory into Afghanistan. Absolutely not." Later, in some days, the Taliban took over Kabul and the American withdrawal was a complete mess. A chaos that left the Biden administration embarrassed globally as well as domestically. Now, while the world was absorbed in what was happening in Afghanistan, the Pakistani military quietly went against its own government. And without Imran Khan's knowledge, they retained the former CIA Islamabad station chief as a lobbyist in Washington. Unsurprisingly, the Pakistani generals were now beginning to move independently. Then in February 2022, the Russia-Ukraine war broke out and Imran Khan suddenly found himself in the middle of it. On the 24th of February, Imran was in Moscow to meet with President Vladimir Putin, ignoring demands from Jake Sullivan to not go. Jake Sullivan, who was then the National Security Advisor to Joe Biden, had called his Pakistani counterpart Moeed Yusuf and asked him to persuade Imran Khan to cancel his Russia trip. When photographs of Putin and Khan went viral online, United States did not view this as an innocent mistake. They perceived it to be a deliberate show of support by Imran Khan towards Russia. Now, what added fuel to fire was how Pakistan abstained from a UNGA resolution condemning the attack by Russia. And this, ladies and gentlemen, was the last nail in the coffin. American officials were angry with Imran for not aligning with Washington and reportedly told Pakistani interlocutors privately that the US-Pakistan relationship could not continue like this. And then, on the 7th of March in 2022 came America's final warning. Pakistan's ambassador in Washington, Asad Majid Khan, met with Donald Lu, the US Assistant Secretary of State for South and Central Asian Affairs. According to the leaked cable, here's what Lu told the ambassador: that all will be forgiven by Washington if Imran Khan was removed from office through a no-confidence vote. Pakistani Prime Minister Imran Khan was removed from office on the 9th of April 2022 in a no-confidence vote backed by Pakistan's military. His party, Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, was outlawed, stripped of its electoral symbol right ahead of the 2024 general election, and it was barred from fielding any candidates under its own banner. Imran Khan and his wife Bushra Bibi were jailed and they remain there even as we speak at the moment. So now, the viewer, you decide who really the hero is in the story and who the villain has been. India's agricultural-linked economy is likely to be heading toward a major test this year, with a weakening monsoon, the growing threat of El Nino and global fertilizer supply disruptions, raising fears of lower kharif output and a possible drought-like situation in certain parts of the country. At the same time, this crisis may also push India toward a potential millet revolution. A new study by scientists from the Indian Council of Agricultural Research has found that El Nino years in the past, specifically 2002, 2004 and 2009, caused more than a 10% fall in key kharif crops such as paddy and maize, impacting paddy production across the 77 districts in India and impacting maize output across 65 districts in different parts of the country. The study found the biggest impact on paddy cultivation in Andhra Pradesh, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, Jharkhand and Odisha. Now, what is El Nino? El Nino essentially is a climate phenomena linked to the warming of ocean surfaces in the central and eastern Pacific. It often weakens India's monsoon and disrupts rainfall patterns. The India Meteorological Department, in its first long-range forecast released last month, has predicted monsoon rainfall at just 92% of the long-period average. That puts this year's rain forecast in the below normal category, raising concerns over a tough agricultural season for millions of farmers in the country. The Indian Council of Agricultural Research study showed El Nino creates sharp spatial and temporal variations in monsoon rainfall, causing major losses in crops like rice, maize, pearl millet and sorghum. At the same time, 2026 could reportedly become India's year of millets. And why is that? The Iran war and the global fertilizer supply shocks have increased the cost of chemicals, reportedly pushing farmers toward crops like bajra, moong and other pulses. Millets require less water. They grow quickly in semi-arid conditions and they need fewer fertilizers and pesticides. Now, with India producing nearly 40% of the world's millets, these crops are reportedly now emerging as a strategic asset for food security and climate resilience. All right, with that, let's take you back into history on this day. That's 18th of May in 1974, 52 years ago. India took the world by surprise by conducting her first nuclear test under the leadership of the then Prime Minister Indira Gandhi. This historic day would alter the country's strategic trajectory forever and announce India's nuclear arrival. This operation that established India as a nuclear power carried an almost paradoxical code name, Smiling Buddha. As a part of this operation, also known as Pokhran-1, a nuclear device was detonated at the Pokhran test range in the state of Rajasthan under the supervision of key army generals and Raja Ramanna, the then director of Bhabha Atomic Research Center. Officially termed as a peaceful nuclear explosion, it made India the first nation outside the 5 permanent UN Security Council members to conduct a confirmed nuclear test. Now, India's nuclear journey began soon after independence, with Homi Bhabha emerging as the architect of the country's atomic ambitions. In May 1998, India went a step further by conducting a series of underground nuclear tests at Pokhran. However, Operation Smiling Buddha remains deeply relevant 5 decades later, as it marked a new chapter in India's nuclear energy and defense journey. What started as a casual social media joke has now turned into another major online controversy surrounding billionaire Elon Musk. The owner of X is facing intense backlash after a series of posts about Instagram sparked accusations of misogyny. The controversy began when Elon Musk joined a viral online discussion about social media habits and posting culture. During this exchange, Musk described Instagram as a platform just for girls. Now, this comment, many users said, reinforced stereotypes about women and social media. But it was his follow-up remark that triggered even stronger reaction online. Elon Musk posted that when grown men share their Instagram profiles, he questions whether they are transitioning. Critics quickly accused him of using gender identity as a punchline and mocking both men and, women who use Instagram frequently. Social media platforms were soon flooded with reactions, with many users calling the comments as insensitive, offensive, and part of a larger pattern of remarks targeting women and LGBTQ+ communities. Some defended Musk as they described the posts as typical internet humor and accused critics of overanalyzing the comments. The debate also quickly took on a bigger dimension. Some users linked the comments to the ongoing rivalry between X and Meta. Remember, since taking over Twitter and rebranding it as X, Elon Musk has repeatedly positioned his platform as a space for political debate and free speech. This has often contrasted it with Instagram's image-driven and lifestyle-focused culture.
I beg to differ. I find it really quite hilarious. More than 50% of the users on Instagram are men, only around 47% are women. So, Elon Musk, I think you're mistaken.
Why should Instagram only be for girls? It should be for everybody. What's the difference between a girl and a boy today? And the world is unisex, and girls have as much rights as boys. So I don't think there should be any restriction on anybody. Everybody should be on Instagram. I hardly use Instagram, but I don't want to be restricted. Why only girls?
Now, as screenshots of the Instagram posts continue to circulate online, neither Elon Musk nor X has issued any apology or a clarification. And the controversy has now evolved into a much bigger debate about the responsibility of influential figures, the limits of free speech, and whether online jokes can still cause real-world harm.